voters in Akwa Ibom State joined counterparts nationwide to cast ballots for governorship and House of Assembly seats. I can't wait to go, says Governor Dom Emmanuel as he joins many others to applaud INEC for successful polling. Plus, as collation of elections results continues, Resident Electoral Commissioner Akwa Ibom State promises early publication. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news. I am Umar Basi Edate. This broadcast is reaching you live on Star Times channel 103 and our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it has improved on the various challenges encountered during the presidential and National Assembly elections. The Resident Electoral Commissioner of Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Cyril Omorogbe, said that this while speaking with NTA correspondent at the state headquarters of INEC in Uyo. To improve on the many challenges that characterized the February 25th elections, INEC went back to the drawing board and mapped out various strategies for a better outing.
We had logistic issues. We had people not being able to find their polling units because they were migrated. We had late, started a little bit late, had to deal with even the same logistics also. The fact that we didn't actually arrive at the conclusion or agreement with the transporters before Wednesday of that same week of election. And so those are some of the issues. I believe we are prepared, perhaps better than what we did about 3 weeks ago.
On the electronic uploading of results through BVAS to ensure credibility and transparency, the Resident Electoral Commissioner of Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Cyril Omorogbe, had this to say.
Uploading of results doesn't even come back to Akwa Ibom, it goes out to Abuja. But I already have a backup system in place where we are actually going to start, perhaps sharing the results with the public from maybe I'd say at about 7 p.m. today. So that's our own backup system. So if that uploading of the result in our iRev doesn't work, you will also get some information, first-hand information from us here in Akwa Ibom.
Electorates have so far commended the smooth conduct of elections in Akwa Ibom State, though with a low turnout. From the state headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital, it's Umo. Now governorship and House of Assembly in some part of Una local government area of Akwa Ibom State experienced a low turnout of electorate. Kelvin Samuel.
Chief and House of Assembly election in Awaima, Ward 1, Unit 1 and 2, according to the people, commenced at about 7:30 a.m. this morning, with accreditation and subsequent voting going simultaneously. Incidentally, this also happens to be the polling unit of the state governor, Dom Emmanuel.
I can't wait to go. This 8 years is like 80 years. So I'm ready to go. So I'm excited today that they are going to elect another person that will take over from me. I think, and also what interests me most is the peaceful conduct I'm seeing within my local government here. I just pray it will be the same across.
There is a notable low turnout of voters when compared to the presidential election, raising the question of voter apathy.
It was a little more crowded than this. Like I said, I believe that, with time, because, as hours coming and going, we're having more and more turnout. I know that the people may feel a bit discouraged considering what happened after the presidential election.
The turn-up is a little bit slow. I believe it's because of the weather.
And from what we are seeing here, there's a lot of improvement from what we had with the presidential and the House of Reps and the Senate election.
There were people on the line, but now people are moving smoothly. The election went successful. It's free and fair election.
Voted my own. So the whole scenario is peaceful and calm. And I so much appreciate that people have come out to vote.
From Ona local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
The governorship and House of Assembly elections in Akwa Ibom State featured 18 gubernatorial candidates contending for the Hilltop Mansion. Clement Baraki report on some of the early morning callers at their polling units.
Among major contenders are that of the PDP, APC, YPP and other political opponents casting their ballots at their respective units. It was an outpouring of commendations for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for putting things in place to improve on its last performance. They, however, expressed joy that the voters also displayed a great sense of enthusiasm and patriotism by their large presence at polling centers.
From what I've seen today, been very peaceful, very orderly. Materials arrived on time. Some units are wrapping up now, so you can see how orderly it's been.
I believe that the exercise is averagely very, very peaceful. I'm happy with the way and manner and the consciousness of the people did to protect and defend their votes.
You know, Nigerians really believed in INEC, and we are hoping that they will do exactly what they promised Nigerians. A free and credible election.
So there's lots and lots of violence in most PDP party official polling units and wards.
I'd like to commend INEC for the free and fair process so far.
By 8:30, elections had already begun in almost every unit in Southern Ward 3 I'm voting at.
Though it was not too smooth due to complaints from some voters who noticed irregularities at other polling units leading to an outburst, but was quickly put under control. A case in point is Afarafiong in Nsiribim local government area. However, accreditation commenced early as voters gave their impressions about the process.
Everything started at exactly 8:30.
We are peaceful, and we should know that what we are doing, that our vote counts.
Nobody's quarreling here. Nobody's arguing with anyone. This is the benefit of ICT. This is the benefit of technology.
I'm happy with the turnout and the performance of INEC. I must commend them.
From Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umana Okonumana, is applauding INEC for proper coordination and timely distribution of materials, which he attributes to the smooth conduct of the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. Evelyn Badoe reports.
The atmosphere was peaceful and calm as electorates were orderly to cast their ballots. As at 8:51 a.m., accreditation and voting had commenced in most polling units visited. Some of the eligible voters described the election process as one of the best in Nigeria's history, commending President Muhammadu Buhari for the introduction of beavers. They, however, suggest the process should not be truncated as the beaver server uploads results immediately.
The accreditation process was very smooth. The beaver works and it's been very orderly. The materials arrived on time, and you can see it's very peaceful, orderly and smooth.
Process has been extremely very smooth, and like you've seen, very, very peaceful. We haven't had any incident whatsoever. Unlike in the presidential elections, where I personally had issues with accreditation.
Today, it has been a very peaceful election. Everything was fair, and we believe that by God's grace, our vote will count.
I also hope this time it should be done properly. We have the last meeting we had in the peace accord. INEC promised that the results will be pasted on the wall and people will be able to snap the results before they are taken to collection center. That I think will arrest cases of fraud.
As at time of this report, voting was still ongoing without any rancor. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu Ekbu, NTA News.
And talking about security, the Commissioner of Police in charge of election monitoring in Akwa Ibom State is commending the peaceful disposition of electorates at the governorship and State House of Assembly elections in the state. He was speaking shortly after leading other service commanders in monitoring the exercise in the state. Clement Baraki reports.
The Commissioner of Police in charge of election in Akwa Ibom State, Ari Muhammad Ali, who led other service commanders to monitor the election, observed that the exercise was held peacefully across the state. He commended the voters for not allowing themselves to be used to cause any breakdown of law and order, promising that security personnel will continue to be at alert during and after the polls.
To God be the glory. We are on top of the situation and the security is apt. Our men are virtually everywhere. And that is why you can see there was no major incident throughout the election period until now. As I speak to you, we are yet to receive any adverse situation report from anywhere. So far so good. It's been well.
At the various polling units visited, the service commanders interacted with the voters and party agents with an assurance that anyone caught with the intent of destabilizing the process will be made to face the full wrath of the law. In Uyo, Clement Barakui, NTA News.
And still ahead, elections in Akwa Ibom South comprising 12 local government areas relatively peaceful. This and more when we return. Don't go away.
Innovation, development, and effectiveness in the acquisition of skills. Ideas Project, a World Bank-assisted project. Call for proposal for the Innovation Grants Facility, IGF. Interested private sector organizations are hereby invited to apply for the Innovation Grants total of over 300 million naira to support digital skills development in the South-South geopolitical zone. All proposal forms and information guidelines on how to benefit from the grant can be downloaded from the IDEAS website at www.ideasproject.gov.ng. All duly completed application forms addressed to Edo State Projects Coordinator should be submitted electronically via edo.spIU@ideasproject.gov.ng on or before 15th March 2023. Call 0810-656-2939 for inquiries.
Glad to know you're still there. Elections in Akwa Ibom South comprising 12 local government areas were relatively peaceful as one or two polling units witnessed little skirmishes later brought under control by security agencies. Evelyn Badoeko traversed some parts of Akwa Ibom South reports.
Right now, I'm in QIC Primary School, Akukot in Eket local government area, and everything is set for the accreditation and voting. I also have.
This situation is similar to other parts visited in Ward 3, Unit 8, Market Square, Uyobia. A newly created polling unit by the INEC witnessed a handful of voters exercising their franchise.
About 9 a.m. Before my arrival, voting had started. That means INEC came on time. Is one thing, getting the results to be announced is another, without any manipulation.
Voting has just started, as you rightly said, and it's ongoing. It's now.
No hitch or glitch, and hopefully we hope to come out victorious.
Because they were here in different units by 8 a.m. today. So I really want to commend them on that.
Primary School Unit 1 and 2 Mbokwe Yokan, Refan Oruko, witnessed a skirmish as thugs were said to have allegedly evaded the polling units, which halted the election process, but it was salvaged by security agents.
Policemen were shabbily dressed. They didn't look, because their attitude coming with full arm guns, threatening voters. So the community boys were not sure. When they asked them to identify themselves, they started running away.
Other polling units in Ona, Ikwitaron, Ikorabasi were also peaceful.
The Beavers is good because there is orderliness and you cannot vote twice. It's very good to checkmate certain things. So it's generally okay, it is peaceful.
At about 4:30 p.m., some of the units had concluded with results pasted at the polling units. Evelyn Badu Epu, NTA News.
And from Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, stakeholders and some eligible voters have described the conduct of the elections as peaceful, free and fair. John Paul Olumonowu monitored the elections in Ikot-Ekpene, Esienudem and Ika local government areas, reports that the voters turned out en masse at various polling units.
Governorship and State House of Assembly elections in Ikot-Ekpene, Esienudem and Ika local government areas was hit-free as the people turned out in large numbers to exercise their franchise.
Across the state, I've always looked at two sets of people, which is the people that are money conscious, and my strategy has been the same from the beginning, to appeal to conscience voters. And conscience voters form less than 30%. You get the point. And, life is about being able to take the chance and be consistent at it.
There's been a lot of improvement in elections in 2023 as far as INEC is concerned. And I think the beavers really helped a lot. And then today, which is the 18th of March, the governorship stroke House of Assembly elections, I have noticed remarkable improvement again in terms of logistics. The ballots and sensitive materials were brought on time. In fact, in my unit here, voting actually commenced about 8:30 in the morning, as against last election when people waited until about 10 o'clock before the materials arrived.
We've just voted. The conduct of the election is peaceful. The materials arrive on time, and the INEC officials are professionals. In fact, we have seen the application of the Electoral Act in the conduct of the election. And my people have also resolved to vote in a party that is credible, a party that is in line with the thoughts and aspiration of Mr. President.
As you can see, we have a very peaceful election here. It has been very credible, very fair, no violence. In fact, no problem at all, as you can see. All is going on well, from the accreditation to the voting.
It's been very calm. Since morning I've been here, I've been watching, and the people are very orderly. So we believe that the will of God will prevail at the end of this election.
Transportation of electoral material from the rack center, super rack center to the various units, the INEC are doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay, what is your chances from what you've seen so far?
You see, I believe too well, based on my personal conviction of my own philanthropic services to my own community, how I have the goodwill, the relationship between me and the people. And as you can see, Obedient Movement is a movement that is movement for the young people, people that wish this country very well.
At the Rack Collection Center in Ika local government area, some of the party agents commended the INEC officials for the peaceful conduct of the elections.
This election has been so peaceful, and then I want to thank the governor of the state for making the state to be peaceful.
It was so peacefully voting who you want in your mind. This is what we got to have, peaceful voting in the local government area. We don't have any issue, we don't have any bias about any other party. Vote who you want to be your governor, vote who you want to be your house member.
Everybody voted at will. There was no fight at all. We vote according to our will to elect the next governor of Akwa Ibom State.
INEC should take appropriate steps to correcting all the irregularities. Places where elections are not held should not be compromised in whatever manner.
The people are hopeful that their votes will count at the end of the process. From Ikot-Ekpene local government area, John Paul Alumon, NTA News.
And still talking about the elections, voting ended before the official closing time of 2:30 p.m. in almost all the polling units in Etinan, Nsedibum and Nsedubium local government areas. Clement Baraki, who monitored the exercise in the areas, attributes the development to early commencement of voting.
The general mood in most polling units visited was peaceful, as eligible voters conducted themselves peacefully. In other areas, election materials and officials arrived before the voters.
And it's generally very peaceful within my domain in the Tinan local government, and also getting report from other local government. There have been minor incursions of violence.
I mean, we were there by 8 o'clock, line up, everything went on, and I moved from one because we have 2 units here. So I checked everything, everything went up smoothly.
No, it's been a very peaceful exercise. The process was commenced by accreditation. After accreditation of voters, voting commenced.
Coming from the disappointment we had in the last election, I'm quite impressed. And at our own end, it has always been like this.
Well, for what I have seen so far, everything is going well. They have started, we have checked the beavers, it was accurate.
The election is very peaceful here. And this is not the first time, nor the second time, nor the third time we exercising this type of project here.
I saw people jumping through the window. The first and foremost, it was a stone thrown on top of the roof. Then I saw people jumping through the window, going purchasing somebody.
In southern Iman Ward 3, a Tinan local government area alongside other local government areas, voters waited patiently after casting their ballot before the commencement of counting, which started simultaneously at 2:30 p.m. in almost all the polling units.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And away from electoral matters, Akwa Ibom State, like many other states of the Federation, operates the multi-party system. Yet PDP has had its way since 1999. Will history repeat itself in the 2023 elections? Clement Baraki again in this special report takes us through the political landscape, economy, and what makes the state unique.
Created on September 23, 1987 by the administration of General Ibrahim Babangida, Akwa Ibom State takes its name from the Kwaibo River, which bisects the state before flowing into the Bight of Benin. The state is often described as a unique cultural state where norms, taboos, customs and traditions are the same. The folkways may vary from one ethnic grouping to another, but the operational cultural norms are basically the same all over the state. Almost all aspects of its culture have the potential to provide fascinating experiences for tourists and for investment opportunities. Hence, custodians of the culture suggest ways the next administration can preserve this culture.
We should go back to our heritage. I'm not saying we shouldn't advance by way of technology and other things, but we should not throw away our cultural heritage.
It should be done more cautiously by allowing the village heads to come in there, because it is we, the village head, that will be able to see how we can control and know who and who are being selected to take care of such tradition.
On the economic front, Akwa Ibom State is predominantly civil service state, with the government being the major engine of growth. The main economic activities of the people are fishing for riverine and coastal dwellers, farming mostly for upland dwellers, trading, artisanship, and white-collar services, among other forms of livelihood of the people. The state is one of the major oil-producing states in Nigeria, with most of the oil fields located offshore Ibadan. The government has made attempts to diversify the state's economy along the lines of mechanized agriculture, tourism, and information technology.
I think for me, I'm looking forward to having Akwa Ibom to be among the knowledge-based, economy, instead of relying on just the crude oil and all this stuff.
politics of Akwa Ibom State has been dominated by the People's Democratic Party since 1999, when Victor Tar became the first democratically elected governor of Akwa Ibom State.
People have taken politics as a religion. They've been so fanatical about their party. As a result, they don't bother if they have square pegs and round holes, which is also why we have failed in the state.
The 2023 elections in Akwa Ibom State is presenting a different dimension to the political landscape of the state, as two major oppositions are now facing the PDP. First is the YPP, then the APC. And analysts say no one knows the direction of the pendulum, but the close-up polls on March 18 will certainly give the direction. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And that's our package, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. Eligible voters in Akwa Ibom State have joined counterparts nationwide to cast ballots for governorship and House of Assembly seats. I can't wait to go, said Governor Dom Emmanuel as he joined many others to applaud INEC for successful polling. You also heard in the news that as collation of elections results continues, President Electoral Commissioner Akwa Ibom State has promised early publication. That's the news. To be a star, join NTA's campaign to stand against rape and rapists. Thanks for watching. Stay on for the rest of the programs. Good night.